I guarantee you that at some point, everything's gonna go south on you.
Ready?
And you're gonna say, this is it. This is how I end.
Commander, Mark is dead. We have to go now.
Now you can either accept that, or you can get to work. This will come as quite a shock to my crewmates, and to NASA, and to the entire world. But I'm still alive. Surprise. Here's the rub. It's gonna be 4 years for another mission to reach me. And I'm gonna have designed to last 31 days. So I gotta make water and grow food on a planet where nothing grows. But if I can't figure out a way to make contact with NASA, then none of this matters anyway.
We've got an incoming message.
Mein Gott. Mark Watney's still alive.
Woo! In your face, Neil Armstrong.
There must be some kind of way out of here.
Okay, so let's do the math. I have enough food to last for 50 days.
He's going to starve to death long before we can help.
There's too much.
So I'm gonna have to science the out of this.
He's 50 million miles away from home. He's totally alone. What the hell is he thinking right now?
I am the greatest botanist on this planet.
I know how to save Mark Watney.
But we need the Hermes crew.
We either have a high chance of killing one or a low chance of killing 6.
I'm not risking their lives. It's bigger than one person. No, it's not.
NASA rejected the mission.
So if we do this,
We're talking mutiny. If anything goes wrong, we die.
do you realize how crazy this is? We have no other option.
No matter what happens, tell the world, tell my family that I never stop fighting to make it home.
I'm sitting here pounding on the podium, so that's what you hear. It's not a band in the background. It's an incredible pleasure for me to be here and to greet all of you. And I hopefully you all feel the excitement about NASA's journey to Mars as I do. I want to thank author Andy Weir for the story of the Martian, as a matter of fact. That started all this stuff, and his dedication to getting it right. I want to thank our friends at 20th Century Fox for also wanting to get it right, and for reorganizing, or recognizing actually, what the great opportunity we have with the opening of this film to talk about our real live journey to Mars unfolding right now, today, in so many places and so many ways across NASA. It's important for the people of this country and around the world to feel that inspiration and join us on this journey. I owe you all an explanation for my enthusiasm, and I'm not sure how many of you understand why I'm so enthused. 35 years, 2.5 months ago. I'll let you do the calculation, because some of you weren't born. That was July 1st, 1980. I checked in to the Johnson Space Center at Houston, Texas to become an astronaut, and I was gonna be Matt Damon. Not stranded on Mars, but the first Martian. And so for me, it's really exciting to see, us continue with this journey. Back then, we were 30 years away from going to Mars. And I tell people that we're closer than ever before, in my mind, to getting to Mars, because we are now much closer than 30 years, I truly believe. And so that's what we want to talk a little bit about today, because we want to talk about real Martians. We want to talk about the challenges that we have, how we plan to do this kind of thing. And it's really, really, really important for all of us in this auditorium or looking in to be able to explain to the American public, one, why it's important, why we think it is doable, but help them understand the challenges of what we're about, because it is not an easy task. This ambitious goal involves everything that we do. It will transform technology and it'll define our generation. Each of you, and that means every single one of, what's your name back there, young man? There's only one little kid that I can see in here. What's your name? Huh? Come up here for a minute. All right, you just broke my train of thought and my script. Come up here for a minute. Are there two? Bring both. Bring both. Come quickly. Shucks. I know I'm messing up okay. I'll get us back. All right. Hang with me. Come on up. Oh, is it your brother? Oh, come on. Come on up. Bring your brother up. Tell him don't be afraid. Don't be bashful. How old are you? Tell me how old you are. Come on up. Please. I plead with you. Please. You're 10? Come on for a second, please. What's your name? Linus? What's your brother? Is it your brother back there? What's your brother's name? Darwin. Darwin, do me a favor. Come on, Darwin. Don't be a stick in the mud. What grade are you? Fifth. And what grade's Darwin in? Third. Are you going to be a Martian? You don't know yet? Well, don't go away. This is important. I'm trying to help here. Is that your mom? Do you know what she does? Does she work for NASA? No. What does your dad do? Is he back there? Where's Dad? Stand up, Dad. What's your name? And what do you do? Are you a Martian? Holy jamoli! Did you hear what your dad just said? Yeah. He's a heliophysicist. You know what that means? Neither do I. And I run this organization. No, I'm kidding. Oh, I do know what you do, okay? I did not want to. Thank you for coming up, okay? Enjoy it. Thanks very much. Thanks. Are you the only parents that brought your kids out? Any more? Did I miss somebody? Daryn, you're my fan. I'm a fan of yours. And anytime you want to come back and come up here and help me do this, you can do that, all right? Because what I'm about to say is actually for you and your brother. As I was saying, what we're about is going to transform technology and define our generation. And actually, it's going to define their generation. All of us will be sitting in rocking chairs. Almost all of us. Many of us will be. But Darwin and his brother will not be. Linus and Darwin are going to be doing this stuff. That's what we're about. Each of you in the NASA workforce is an important part of this journey through your passion and your dedication to what we do. It's your dedication, it's your motivation and drive that keeps NASA moving forward, not just with momentum, but also with precision and focus. We are farther down the path to sending humans to Mars than at any point in NASA's history, and that was the reason for my giving you my passion, why I am where I am. 35 years and 2.5 months is a lot longer than, between now and 2030s. So be patient. We have a lot of work to do to get humans to Mars, but we'll get there. Boots on Mars is possibly the most exciting thing humans will ever do. And I love that we're here today talking not only about what we want and need to do that goal, but the ways we've already started the work to get there, because we've been doing this for 40 years, believe it or not. We have been engaged in getting to Mars, getting humans to Mars for at least 40 years now, beginning with, the first precursors. Much of what we do today was science fiction when I was growing up in Columbia, South Carolina. We have many accomplishments of which we can be proud, such as people living and working in space continuously today, which we've done now for almost 15 years, or sending a spacecraft out of the solar system, or one to visit Pluto, as just recently happened, or planning an actual human trip to the Red Planet, on which we are embarked. So I have no doubt that we can accomplish what we have set our minds to do. Today, we all have a chance to hear from the experts. These men and women can tell you what's going on right now and where we're going next. They'll discuss where our knowledge gaps are and what we're doing to fill them. Earlier this week, cast members from The Martian talked with astronauts living on the International Space Station, including Scott Kelly, who just passed his halfway point during his one-year mission aboard the station, a mission that's gathering critical data needed for future human Mars missions. They heard firsthand how that laboratory is working on science off Earth for the Earth. The actors saw the International Space Station training facility. They heard from the team working on planetary rovers, learned about Space Launch System rocket and the Orion spacecraft that visited, and then they visited the Mission Control Center where flight controllers provide support for space station research and operations. As most of you in this audience know, that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to all we do at NASA. Our Martian guests saw how we're incorporating the technologies that enable exploration into tools for understanding Earth right now, new knowledge that will inform future Mars explorers. This is our story. It's our story. This is our journey to Mars. It's the real stuff of science, technology, and human spaceflight. Earlier this week, we launched the Real Martians webpage where you can see videos of your fellow employees telling their stories and how they are supporting the journey to Mars. It's going to be updated 3 times a week. That's what they tell me. Okay, that's an ambitious goal. It's going to be updated 3 times a week, each week, with new videos. Is that right, Mr. Brown? All right. So visit early and often. I'm looking forward to hearing the questions that you have today and to talking some more with Andy and Jim Green, who is maybe our head Martian here at NASA headquarters. Today, we take part in an ongoing dialogue about what it's going to take to get humans to Mars. I know it invigorates me every single day on the job to work on one of the biggest things humanity has ever attempted, and I think it's this generation's moment, the chance for the next giant leap. A child today that was born less than 15 years ago has never known a moment when humans didn't live with the internet or live in space. Think about that. I mean, that's our kids and grandkids. A child today who is 15 years or younger has never known a moment without the internet or when humans were not living and working in space. They are the space generation. They're the ones who are going to set down on the red planet for the first time. Our first Martians they're in school right now. They're in elementary school, in kindergartens. And this movie and all the missions that they see NASA flying could be what pushes them firmly in the direction of a career in science, technology, engineering, or math. We want to encourage them to pursue those careers that will enable our journey and keep America the leader in space. That kind of inspiration is probably one of the most potent things that we can provide to the next generation. That's you. That's you and what you do. That's what makes us so different. So different from any other agency of this government. We are the inspiration for the space generation. That's what we're doing right now. So let's get started and hear more about this. First, let's hear from 2 NASA employees working on our journey to Mars about how they see the work reflected in The Martian. With us, Alexander McDonald, Program Executive for Emerging Space in the Office of Chief Technologist, and Tara Rutledge, Associate ISS Program Scientist in the Office of Chief Scientist. So Alexander and Tara, I know I saw you all.
You were here.
There they are over there. Take it away. Come on up.
All right. Thank you.
Huh?
Than't you, Administrator Bolden.
You're going to do it from over there?
We're going to do it from here.
I'm sitting down.
We're chilling. We're going to relax with the fellow employees. But it's really hard to follow those inspiring words. I don't know, Alex, but Alex and I have been talking about the book. We've been sharing some fun discussion over the past few days.
Book.
I assume he read the book because,
Yeah, it was
okay,
incredible.
so you did read. Most of us here have read the book, and we've been talking about some of the inspiring parts of the book and how they're relevant to the work that we do here at NASA, every day. And so for most of us, I think we're mostly inspired by the human nature, the need to just survive, right? We're exploring, and then survival kicks in. And the way that Watney survives is based on science and technology that we here at NASA are part of every single day. So for those of us who read it, that it was all familiar. It doesn't matter which part of NASA you're working in, it's all familiar. And for me, I work in the space station program in the science office. We're doing things now as part of that program. It's agency-wide, but now we have this low Earth orbit platform, unlike anything else, where we can get real work done. Things like the one-year mission, where we're trying to tackle the changes that happen to the human body so that we can stay longer in space. And really also exciting and inspiring is think about the way the book was written. It was written from Mark Watney's perspective. If it wasn't for his journaling, we wouldn't have the exciting parts of the book. And that's another thing that we do right now at NASA on the space station. Our astronauts, we've got thousands of pages of journals that are being studied right now to understand the psychological behavior patterns associated with the various environments living up there in space. And so all across the agency, right now too, specifically for station, that's my thoughts on it, but what are you thinking?
Yeah, for me, what was so inspiring was to see, a book treat in such detail the economic trade-offs of potato production on Mars.
Potato production, yeah.
Hitherto we haven't had a huge public conversation about Martian potato production. And, spoiler alert here, potatoes are super important in the Martian.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to get your calories, right? So he's got enough multivitamins, he's got some protein and protein bars, but he doesn't have enough calories, right? And so he has to figure out, how do I actually produce enough food to survive for the years that he's going to be there?
That's right.
Right? And he's got to do it with only the things that he has available, right? And so he's got to kind of do the jujitsu math to figure out how to basically engage in something that a lot of people around the agency have been doing for a long time, which is space agriculture.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the book does this great job of introducing the importance of space agriculture, which is going to be incredibly important as we think about getting Earth independent.
Yes.
And of course, on the ISS now, we had a big milestone in the development of this field with the veggie experiment.
Right.
Right? We had last month, we had astronauts who had grown lettuce in the microgravity environment, and they're able to eat it and enjoy it. And so I think the Martian really takes that whole field that I think is going to be really important in the future and really brings it home as a critical method of survival.
Yes, so cool. And you guys remember how he grew those potatoes, right? He needed special microbes. So it's true, and it's true as part of the veggie experiment too. Before the astronauts were allowed to eat it, it had to go home first for sampling of microbes. And all of that stuff, as we've read the book, I think most of us in here have related to things like that, right? So Alex, it's been fun. And I wanted to say, things that Space Station are doing right now. I just wanted to say, the additive manufacturing. We've got testing the inflatable habitats coming up. We've got robotic servicing missions, ways that teach us how to predisposition our goods for longer duration
Space
Mars.
logistics,
Yeah,
hugely
space
important.
logistics and those kind of things. Eclipse is the big theme of the movie too. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been a good book. Thanks for chatting with us today, Alex.
It's a delight.
It's been fun talking to you about
It's fun to do
potato
it. That's
economics.
The key. Actually make it happen.
Yeah.
That's the key. Potatoes.
Right.
Potatoes are the future.
Yeah, all kinds of ways. We've discussed all kinds of ways to eat potatoes, but not cooked if you want the best, right? Okay, not calories. Okay. Okay, so now it's really going to be cool to hear from our very own head Martian, Dr. Jim Green, Director of Planetary Sciences, because he's going to talk to us about science, fact, and fiction in The Martian. And then we're going to have Andy Weir talk to us a little bit after that. But first, we're going to listen to a message from Director Ridley Scott and see what his thoughts are on the journey to Mars.
For millennia, humans have pondered our mysterious red neighbor Mars. Is life there? Could we live there? What secrets does it hold? How soon might humans be able to go there? These are questions that have fascinated me as a filmmaker and that NASA helped me to answer for my upcoming film, The Martian. Sending humans to Mars safely is a priority in NASA. It started with the landing of robotic rovers on Martian soil, such as Spirit, Opportunity, and Curiosity. The data and images these magnificent robots have sent back to Earth have piqued our imagination and heightened our determination to go, paving the way for the safe journey and touchdown by humans in the 2030s. Humans are already preparing for this journey by living 250 miles overhead on the International Space Station where there is no gravity. The round trip to Mars could take 500 days or longer. The journey requires the most sophisticated technology ever built, including the new Orion spacecraft and the powerful Space Launch System rocket. When we invent new technologies for space exploration, it benefits all of humanity, contributing to new breakthroughs in medicine, communications, and manufacturing. The journey to Mars will change our history books forever, rewriting what we know about the red planet, expanding humans deeper into the solar system. Follow NASA's journey to Mars at nasa.gov.
Yeah, that was great from Ridley. Thank you very much, Ridley. That was a great message. You know, it's not every day that we get to celebrate science fiction in an agency that deals with science fact every day. But The Martian really is a very important part of our culture as science fiction. You know, if you don't dream about the future, you don't have a future. You have to recognize how important it is for those things to stay in your mind. Understand the direction you want to move towards, and then move towards it. What's really great about the book, and of course the movie that follows the book very well, is it's just around the corner. Now today, in the few minutes that I have, one of the things that I wanted to do in the next slide is to talk about what Mars might really be like relative to the movie. Next slide, please. And of course, in the movie, it starts out with this enormous dust storm, one that's very capable, that hammers the Hab, breaks pieces apart, and throws them everywhere, as shown from these scenes. Next slide. However, from orbit, we do see these intense dust storms. You know, they can look really foreboding. But in reality, next slide, please. The dust storms are nowhere near as powerful. You know, the pressure on Earth is so much, or on Mars is so much less than the Earth, that even 120 mile an hour wind, which does occur on Mars, won't be enough to straighten an American flag sitting on the surface, all right? However, what happens is the dust gets suspended in space, in the atmosphere rather, to sometimes 20 and 30 kilometers high, and blocks out the sun, makes it look like night even at noon. And so consequently, it can be formidable if you're using solar power and you're depending on that. So these are actually the facts that we have to deal with as we go to Mars. Next slide, please. So we've been on Mars in many locations. Here's an overview of those landers and rovers from Viking, Pathfinder, Phoenix, and Curiosity and Opportunity. And those two are operating today. These are their locations. In the future, we're planning to land InSight with its launch window opening up on March 4th of next year. InSight is a lander, and it's going to look at the seismology and the heat flow of the planet. Those are very important. We see avalanches from space, from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. Is Mars still active today? Are there Mars quakes? How intense are they? Should we be concerned about it? What about how the heat leaves the planet? Is that something that we can use like geothermal activity that we do here on Earth? Can we use the thermal energy of Mars to be able to heat our habs? These are things that not only from a scientific point of view we want to answer, but of course from a human exploration point are extremely important. Here's where the Ares 3 site is. It's just above Pathfinder. Next slide, please. Now, as you saw in the trailer, Mark Watney has to communicate with Earth. Communication actually is a subtext in the movie. Mark talks to his GoPro. This is something that he has to do to think about what he's going to do in the future and how he's going to cope and the activity, in addition to producing the normal log one does, dating back to Star Trek, of course. Recognizing that Pathfinder might be a capability that he used to communicate back to Earth, he makes the trek that's probably 500 kilometers from Ares 3. But what is a journey on Mars for our astronauts? It's really what we call the exploration zone. It's a zone of about 100 kilometers in diameter. Next slide, please. And here you see what's really in the exploration zone. We will land in an area. We will live in another area. We will do scientifically compelling research in different regions. And we will use the resources at hand, extracting oxygen from the air, perhaps even water. We now know Mars is more humid than we thought. Can we grow more things on Mars? We now know there's nitrates in the soil, far more than we ever imagined. The more we learn about Mars, the more we can design human exploration to live, survive, and work on the planet and return. We will use these through these in situ resource utilization activities, ISRU they're called. This is the kind of activity that combines science, technology, and human exploration in our journey towards Mars. So in the brief few minutes that I have, I hope I've given you a little idea as to what our plans in the future. Now, when I go to the movies, and this one is no different, I check my science at the door. You know, I live and breathe it all day, and I want to enjoy the environment. But what's really great about it is it gets so many things right. And so I hope you will enjoy the book and enjoy the movie. Next slide, please. Because there's an evolution of activity. It starts with the science that we do and the understanding that we have about going to Mars. And it's essential that we do that, and that will enable human exploration to be successful. Thank you very much. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce Andy Weir, the author of The Martian. And I believe he's coming in over the internet. There he is. Hey, Andy. It's all yours.
Hi. There we go. Well, hi. As Jim said, I'm Andy Weir, and I wrote The Martian, and it's a great pleasure to be here today. Back when I was a kid, I wanted to be a writer. I've always wanted to be a writer, but I also like eating regular meals and living places other than park benches, so I decided to go into engineering. And so I was actually a computer programmer for about 25 years before I managed to bungle into this book that I wrote. I never imagined it would be as successful as it is. I'm a space dork who wrote a story expecting a few thousand people who love science to enjoy it, and that's about it. But I can tell you that 25 years of being a computer programmer has taught me one important thing. You need to back up your work. So that's why it's so important that we learn how to send humans to other worlds, because as long as our entire species remains on a single planet, we have a non-zero chance of extinction. Could be a war, could be an asteroid, could be a plague. I don't know. But if we're living on two different worlds or more, our chance of dying out drops to basically zero. Now, when I wrote The Martian, I had one huge advantage in that I don't actually have to be right. I gave it my best shot, and I tried to make the science as accurate as possible. But if I'm wrong, nobody dies. Nobody gets hurt. All I get is a few NASA folks glancing at the book, rolling their eyes and saying, no, he got that wrong, and then they move on with the story. But there are numerous problems that need to be solved, and solved correctly by the engineers and scientists at NASA and at other space agencies around the world before we can actually get to Mars. First off, we need to find out how to get mass into low Earth orbit cheaper than we do now. There's just no way to viably have something the size of the International Space Station on a trajectory toward Mars in anything resembling a reasonable budget until we have better booster technology. NASA's working on that right now with SLS, and private companies or commercial companies like SpaceX and Boeing are working on their own boosters, driving that price down. Next up, we need a propulsion system to get them there. I personally believe ion propulsion is the way to go. Not everyone agrees. Other people think that lunar fuel depots are a good way to make things happen. But the important thing is that we have these discussions. Next up, we need to deal with radiation. The Earth's magnetic field protects ISS from the harmful radiation in deep space, or from most of it, but a ship traveling to Mars and any astronauts on Mars would have a severe problem with that, and that's another issue that needs to be solved. And right now, the only way we have to solve that is by adding a bunch of mass to the ship. And finally, we need to deal with the problem of long-term human habitation in space. That's what the astronauts aboard ISS are working on right now. My personal belief is that we should be working on centrifugal gravity, but it's important to find out exactly what happens when you have an astronaut in space for a very long time and find out all the effects it has on the human body. So as I said, fortunately, I didn't need to get any of this stuff right. I can just speculate. Nothing bad happens if I get it wrong. Everything bad happens if NASA gets it wrong. So that's why we're on our journey now to try to get astronauts to Mars in the 2030s, maybe a little bit later, and we'll just all work together and try to make that happen. Back to you.
Very cool. Thanks, Andy. It's actually very good to virtually meet you. I'm Tara Rutledge, and I've got some questions for you submitted from our own NASA employees. So let's find out what the NASA family would like to hear about. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. First question. This one's from Ames. If you had the opportunity, would you go to Mars or at least a Mars station simulation?
Nope. I write about brave people.
Next question.
I write about brave people, but I'm not one of them.
All right, no need to elaborate. Good. Number 2, where did the idea originate for your book? And this is from headquarters.
Well, I was sitting around imagining how a manned spaceflight to Mars could go using only real technology. And I started coming up with, okay, how do we get them there? What do we do with them once we're there? How do we get them safely back to Earth? Then what do we do if this breaks? What do they do if that breaks? What if these two things break at the same time? Any mission plan needs to account for failures. I think everybody at NASA can tell you that. And I started to realize that these problems that the crew would face and the increasingly desperate things they had to do to stay alive started to sound pretty interesting and might make for a good story. So I created an unfortunate protagonist and subjected him to all of them. As a mean.
Very good. All right. Moving on. This next question is from Johnson Space Center. I'm an anthropologist working with human factors and robonaut, or Valkyrie, folks here at JSC on my dissertation research, which was done regarding human-robotic interaction for future exploration missions. Why didn't the Ares 3 crew have another type of advanced robot with them on Mars?
Because I was writing a story that I wanted just to be cool and awesome. And I was just trying to harken back to the Apollo era and pull on those heartstrings. It wasn't necessarily an accurate representation of what I think a future manned mission to Mars would be. I honestly believe the first mission to Mars, it's funny that I asked a question by an expert in this field, I honestly think the first time we send humans to Mars, it'll, first off, it'll be a large international effort. I doubt it'll just be NASA on its own. It'll be more like ISS. And second off, I think it'll be humans in Mars orbit controlling robots on the surface. So you have human brains controlling robots with no latency. And I think that is going to be the shortest route to getting as much science as possible out of Mars. And so I think that in real life, as opposed to in my story, the human-robot remote-controlled exploration of Mars in real time is going to be absolutely critical and will probably be the first manned Mars mission.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you. The next question is from Goddard. Andy, we loved your novel. I was confused by the very strong storm that could possibly topple a spacecraft. And so was the basis for this actual survey information from NASA missions, or was it extrapolated from something else, or was it a literary exaggeration to move the plot along? Those strong storms on Mars.
It was, I made it all up. It was, there's nothing like that could actually happen on the surface of Mars. The atmospheric density is about 0.5% of Earth's atmosphere. 150 kilometer an hour sandstorms happen, but it would have so little inertia that it would feel like a gentle breeze on Earth. I had an alternate beginning in mind where they were doing an MAV engine test and there's an explosion and that causes all the problems. But it just wasn't as cool. It wasn't as interesting. It's a man versus nature story, and I wanted nature to get the first punch in. So I made that concession to reality. I kind of regret it, especially now that now that I have contacts all over aerospace. I now know that there is lightning on Mars, and that could have been a great way to have the plot start off. But I didn't know that at the time. So it is what it is. But it was a deliberate concession to narrative. I knew I was lying at the time.
Oh, very good. Okay. Well, we've got one more question for you. I'm sorry, we won't get to all of them from all the centers, but this last one is from Marshall Space Flight Center. Do you consider nuclear thermal propulsion for powering the Hermes spacecraft?
Nuclear thermal, so that's where you use a nuclear reactor to heat up a propellant and then spit it out the back? I'm trying to...
Yes, I'm getting nods from the audience. You're correct on that.
Okay, yeah. I don't know enough about the difference between nuclear thermal and magnetic ion propulsion. In the book, they have basically Casimir drives. If nuclear thermal provides a better specific impulse for the propellant, then I say do that. I don't believe there's any way to go to Mars without a reactor aboard the ship, so people just need to accept that. And then the next question is, what is it that gets us there with the least amount of propellant mass? So I guess I just don't know enough to answer that question, but I definitely think it should be, something that's on the table and considered.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Well, thank you, Andy. That was all the time we have. I'm sorry we couldn't get to all the questions. It was quite a long list, you can imagine, but really, truly, thank you for your time today. We really appreciate your work.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. We've heard Andy's story, and now we're going to hear more about the NASA mission to Mars story. So we're going to hear from our leadership. We are going to Mars, and to tell us about those different things, I'm going to turn it over to NASA's own Deputy Administrator, David Newman. And while they're getting ready, and she's getting ready in the next panel, let's take a look at NASA's brand new video about our own, very own journey to Mars.
For the first time since the Apollo moon landings, NASA is preparing to send astronauts beyond Earth orbit. And this time, the mission is the most ambitious we have ever undertaken. The journey to Mars. Carrying out this journey will require bringing together the best of our efforts, from robotic probes, to technology development, to astronauts in orbit, to robust new space vehicles. The journey is already underway, right here, right now. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station are learning more about living and working in space for long periods of time. Vital information for the challenging trip to Mars. Transportation to and from this station will be provided by our American commercial cargo and crew partners. Next, using the Orion crew vehicle and the powerful Space Launch System rocket, NASA will move into the proving ground of space, around and beyond the moon. Here, we will carry out increasingly ambitious missions to test out new systems and capabilities needed to reach Mars, like deep space habitats and advanced propulsion systems. Even as we speak, our robotic scouts are already exploring the Red Planet, preparing the way for astronauts to join them. Once we have matured our capabilities in the proving ground, we'll be ready for Earth independence, reaching our planetary neighbor, not just as temporary visitors, but as pioneers, expanding human presence into our solar system.
Hello, everyone. I'm David Newman, the NASA Deputy Administrator. And shout out to all of our NASA centers joining us and everyone else. Got to see the little end trailer of the video. It'll be available to everyone. If you were watching NASA TV in the past hour, you got to see something I really want to highlight. Students and all around the country through our distance learning network, DLN, they got to take their own journey to Mars with author Andy Weir. Thank you, Andy. And Dr. Chris McKay from NASA Ames. Thanks so much to Chris for working with the students, letting them, live the dream. And it's pretty cool. We all are Martians. So hello to all the folks here at NASA headquarters. All of us are real Martians. And we're going to be celebrating and telling our own story. And it's really all of you making this work happen on a daily basis. I get to welcome Dr. Jim Green, who you've already met, our lead gurus, Martian, in all of this. And of course, Jim is the director of our Planetary Science Division here at NASA's Science Mission Directorate. And next to him is Jeff Sheehy, and Senior Technology Officer from our Space Technology Mission Directorate. And then to the left, be joining us Greg Williams, Deputy Associate Administrator for Policy and Plans from Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate. So looking forward to joining them in a panel. But first, I'll tell you where I've been, and a quick snippet to the last few months. I've had the opportunity to travel to all of our NASA centers, and I have to tell you, I'm overwhelmed with all the progress we're making to Mars. I came here, I'm pretty focused on exploration, technology, innovation, and education, and we're there. This is hardware, this is software, it's being built. I got to see the Space Launch System. It's really big. Got to see it being manufactured. It's huge. There's nothing like seeing huge rockets. I mean, this heavy lift launch capability, it's really coming along. And of course, it's accompanied by the Orion vehicle that just this week, the two halves came together or were welded. That's important when you're in a space vehicle, especially for the astronauts. You want your halves to come together and be welded. I also got to see the RS-25 engine firing. Now I'm an aerospace engineer, so I've seen launches and I've flown a lot of experiments, but I always go down to Kennedy Space Center, and my experiments, they go up. They went up with the shuttle, right? So to see an engine firing, I had never seen that, right? You're down in Stennis, nothing goes up. It just stays on the ground. So I told me that's a lot of concrete, right, to keep everything down. And that smoke that comes out the back, right, just water vapor, that's serious. So we're doing great work. This is all to get us beyond low Earth orbit, to get us to cislunar, to get us to Mars. These are the vehicles that'll take us there. So in many ways, we're kind of at a teachable moment when it comes to Mars. Great movie. I'm usually a critic. I love Jim saying, okay, leave your critique at home, just go to the movie and enjoy it, because I'm guilty of that. Oh, they got the physics wrong. Well, again, thanks to Andy, and this was a really well-researched movie. It has a lot of great factual things. And one more thing, maybe he got right. The journey, just to note, the commander of the mission is a woman. So maybe he got that right. Thanks, Andy. So as you know, NASA folks worked with the movie folks to try to get it as realistic and accurate as possible, so that we could all be happy with that. And I want to highlight just a little bit of kind of NASA technology and innovation. You start with the basics. So energy. Ion propulsion, it's been mentioned, but yes, that's what NASA's doing. We're testing it. We need the next generation, but it's unbelievable. I got to see some ion propulsion, at Glenn Research Center. It's like a soft breeze, right? Low force, but F equals ma, right? So that constant acceleration can get you going really fast. It's constantly accelerating. Okay, now we're talking 200,000 miles per hour. Now, that's a lot of force. So again, making these investments for the next step, beyond low Earth orbit to cislunar, and then eventually to Mars. Learned a lot about RTGs, right? Radio, if I can even pronounce it right, radioisotope thermoelectric generators. Space batteries, right? We've used them in 24 missions. Apollo, back to Mars Odyssey. We're going to use them in Mars 2020. So again, these are some technologies we have. Of course, we need next generation ones, but it's real. The hardware's real, the software is real. We're on Mars today. You can do some serious, kind of crazy maneuvers. Oh, and we're using RTGs right now, I think, on the Dawn spacecraft to a dwarf planet. Dwarf planets have become my favorite this summer. It's fun to celebrate the solar system and all these dwarf planets. To the air, what I know is life support systems, environmentally closed life support systems. So right on station, we have NASA's oxygen generation system. It's great, it's working most of the time, but what's the next generation? What's the breakthrough? Well, in Mars 2020, we're flying MOXIE. How cool is that? Carbon dioxide atmosphere from Mars, kind of squeeze it. I'm not quite sure how we're going to squeeze it. Woof! We get oxygen. Now, not enough for a human, but a little test. You know, we're going to make oxygen on another planet. The first time ever to make oxygen on another planet. You know, and we're doing it. And get to the water. We need water, right? Air, water, kind of essential ingredients for our life support systems. So up on station, we have our water reclamation system. Yes, you know, we are recycling urine, your bath water. You know, you're brushing your teeth. What's the next generation? We got to recycle a lot of water. Now, when we get to Mars, you know, can we get some of that frozen ice in the subsurface? Probably, but let's just pack our water just in case. Redundancy is good for engineering perspective. But if we can make it, great. And then food. Hopefully, you were all watching, you know, August 10th, farming in space, right? The astronauts got to eat the lettuce. I think it's kind of small lettuce, but you know, it's going to get bigger. But just these technologies, again, they're here, they're real. This veggie experiment is fantastic to really look at fresh food production. And so thank you to all of you in the audience and all of our centers. We are the Real Martians. And now I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more. So we're going to turn it over to the panel. Thank you. Greg.
Okay, I'll go up here again. My name is Greg Williams. I'm Deputy Associate Administrator for Policy and Plans in HEO. And you saw in the video, at the very end of the video clip, our strategy for going to Mars, which is a giant squid attack. We think it's going to be very effective. What's represented as you go from left to right in that picture are capabilities that we're building today. It starts, of course, with the International Space Station, which, as Charlie mentioned, we've been permanently occupied, permanently crewed for the last 15 years. We just yesterday passed the halfway point for the one-year crewed mission, which is tremendously exciting. Craig Kundrat gave a great lunchtime talk today about the twin study that is ongoing and what we're going to learn from that and what discoveries made just in the last 2 years in fundamental biology is enabling us to derive from a sample size of 1 or 2. It's pretty remarkable. Those space station missions increments are going to be supplied by a commercial crew program, which is currently in development. We just passed a one-year milestone since those contracts were awarded, and Boeing and SpaceX are off and running with their systems. SpaceX and Orbital are trying again after some tough luck this last year with commercial cargo provision, but they're not stopping. They're continuing to press on, and that's going to resume again this fall. We have SLS on Orion being built. We flew EFT-1 last December, which was hugely exciting. We learned a great deal from that about how the Orion vehicle is going to perform in these return from Mars type velocities through the Earth's atmosphere. And what's really exciting about those is, we headquarters types, we obsess over KDPC decision memos and tours for standing review boards and all of that. And we kind of forget what the center folks already know, which is that even though we're doing PDRs and CDRs and all those are good, real hardware is already being developed, already being fabricated, already being welded, already being shipped around to the centers and tested. David mentioned the RS-25 firings. There have been 7 of those now. We're now going to pull out this next year the engines we're actually going to fly on SLS and test those. We refer to them as RS-25s, that's what they are. They're no longer SSMEs, right? They're RS-25s, so they're being tested in a Space Launch System flight profile with Space Launch System fuel pressures, so we're really making progress with those and off and running. Orion, as David mentioned earlier, cone panels are being fabricated and welded. Hatch panels are being welded and fabricated. That hardware is flowing. There's if you saw the video of the platform, so-called Platform K, being shipped down the highway into Kennedy Space Center, the vertical assembly building is being re-outfitted for stacking and assembling the Space Launch System. And so that platform, which could barely make the corners around the big turns, is the first of several that are being delivered. So what's really exciting to me is that this is not a paper program. This is a real program with real hardware being built. We have a long way to go, but we're off and running. And so thank you to all of you who are working on those programs at the centers and even here at headquarters. We're doing it together. We're going to make it happen. And this next several years is going to be really exciting as we press toward the EM1 mission and then the EM2 mission, the first crewed flight of SLS and Orion.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, Jeff, want to tell us more about the technology?
Sure, yeah, I'm glad to. I'm Jeff Sheehy. I'm the Senior Technical Officer of Space Technology Mission Directorate. So I'm sitting here between Science Mission Directorate and Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate. And our job in space technology, one of our key jobs is to provide the new technologies, the new capabilities, so these guys can carry out the missions they want to do. And so look at the journey to Mars. You know, I got up this morning, I have these nice east-facing windows, and I looked out there, and it was before dawn. I saw this very bright star. That was Venus in the sky. And I looked down and to the left a little bit from Venus, and there was Mars in the morning sky. And I actually just finished reading the book recently, and so it is a page-turner. It's a gripping story. I recommend it. And so, you know, I'm looking at Mars there and thinking, you know, the people are going to be walking around there. And we are all involved. We all can be involved in making that happen. The gripping story of Mark Watney and him being stranded on Mars kind of immerses us in thinking about what would it be like to live there. And he's the main character of the book, but in the book you'll see, and even in this movie trailer, you can see that the technologies needed for a Mars mission really are characters in the book. He is so dependent on those life support systems that he has at his disposal in the habitat that, you know, if any of those goes south, he's going to go south with them. And so they're real characters, and how he interacts with them, how he makes use of them, how he tweaks them and kludges them is a big part of the book. So in space technology, our job is to provide those technologies. When you think about a journey to Mars, I like this thing that they've got behind us there. It seems like it has some Richard Strauss music with it or something, but it's really about, you got to get there, you got to land there, which is harder than it sounds like it ought to be. Jim knows that from landing a lot of things on Mars over the years, and then you got to live there, and the book's all about really living there. So in space tech, we're developing the technologies that are going to allow us to do all those things. Getting there, we're looking at high-power solar electric propulsion. The Dawn probe that was mentioned earlier, it's currently around Ceres, I think, has an ion propulsion system. It's about a 10 kilowatt or so range ion propulsion system. To move the cargoes we need to get to Mars, we're going to need a lot more than that. We're going to need 100 kilowatts, maybe a few hundred kilowatts. So we have a solar electric propulsion program led by Glenn Research Center that's developing those technologies, higher power solar arrays, high power thrusters, power processing units that can handle all that power. So that's getting there. Technologies needed to do that. To land there, we have a whole suite of projects that are looking at supersonic deceleration devices, hypersonic decelerators, supersonic retropropulsion, different means of landing large payloads on Mars. The biggest payload Jim's landed on Mars, I think, is about a metric ton, right? And for Greg's needs over the coming decade or two, we're going to need to land about 20 metric tons. And so that's a lot more payload to put on Mars. You're going to need different sorts of deceleration devices. We have programs at JPL and at Ames and at Langley and at Johnson looking at the different technologies needed for landing on Mars and living on Mars. David mentioned the oxygen ISRU experiment. We call it MOXIE. It's kind of a cute name, and you'll see that the protagonist in the book has a lot of moxie. And so we're going to suck in the Mars atmosphere, which is mostly CO2, and we're going to make oxygen. Well, it's a tech demo, and it's going to fit on Jim's next rover, so it's going to be pretty small. But you scale that, if we demonstrate that it works on Mars, you scale that technology up, and you've got oxygen you can breathe, you've got oxygen you can use for propulsion. We've looked at advances in spacesuits. You'll see in the book that spacesuits play a big role, how he uses them for different purposes, even cuts them up and uses the fabric for different things. We've looked at advanced technologies for spacesuits and advanced technologies for the life support systems that Dava mentioned. So there's high bandwidth communication technologies, there's high precision navigation technologies, there's advanced energy storage and power generation technologies. So all the things you need to get there, to land there, to exist there on Mars. That's what we're trying to develop in Space Tech Mission Directorate.
Yes. So, Jim, tell us, we thank you for your earlier talk, but what else do we need to know so that we're all best informed to talk a little bit more about the science?
All right, from a science perspective, I want to tell everybody that this is actually the 50th year of our very first probe, Mariner 4, flew by Mars, and what it saw was a region that was much more moon-like. The scientists were incredibly depressed, but we kept going back to Mars, and we kept realizing how diverse it really is, how fascinating it really is. It's beautiful vistas. It's got huge canyons that make the Grand Canyon look itty-bitty. You know, canyons, Valles Marineris, if it stretched across the United States, would literally open the Pacific to the Atlantic. Mark Watney in the book sits at an area on Mars and watches the sun set, and it's so beautiful because he can. And he really enjoys the environment he's in. It's absolutely astounding in many ways. What we've learned about Mars, in talking with Andy about the book, Andy wanted to get the book out before Curiosity landed on Mars because he knew things would be discovered, and indeed they have. More recently, we now understand we literally see water weeping out of aquifers down the sides of many of the craters, particularly in Valles Marineris, but all over the place. So there are enormous water resources still left available on Mars. As mentioned, MOXIE brings in CO2 through an electrolysis process where we actually zap it, we pop off an oxygen, we get rid of the carbon monoxide, but we store the oxygen. We do that all day long, at various times. Now, why is that important? The pressure changes on Mars are enormous. Even though there are small pressure changes, how does the experiment work? The temperature variation on one day is anywhere from 120 to 140 degrees in one day. The high here in DC over a year might be 100 degrees in variation, but do that day after day after day. That's the harsh environment that Mark Watney has to tackle. So our knowledge about Mars is increasing significantly. But one aspect of the book that I really enjoyed significantly is actually the human aspect of it. Mark Watney at one point when he comes back into the hab and he's going down the list of what's going to kill him first, and he looks very depressed and it's all about how he'll die next. And you see that science and engineering part of his brain kicks in. And that allows him to start the process of breaking up an enormous challenge into bite-sized chunks, into something that he can tackle and win and go on to the next challenge. We see that every day in the NASA centers. This is something that's endemic to what we have as our part of our culture. And this is what's going to get us to Mars. The ability to think our way through science and engineering to the nth degree that will enable us to work and live in that environment. That also spurs our economy. That also is such an essential part of, I believe, the American culture that we're along for the ride. Enjoy it because it's going to be pretty astounding. It's just right around the corner.
So now I ask everyone to, we'll clap in a second. Now, it's very great, Jim. Ask everyone to embrace your inner Martian. And we are on the real-life journey to Mars. And thank you, NASA. I want to thank our panelists. I've learned a lot. Alaska, if we can just stay here in the interest of time, thanks for your patience. But we want to celebrate and highlight, one of our own. So as Mr. Bolden mentioned, we are showing videos of real Martians. And so now we're going to show you one. There'll be new ones each week. And with that, let's see a real Martian.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Stern. Join me as we journey to Mars. I work on an instrument called the Sample Analysis at Mars Instrument Suite on the Curiosity rover. And what that does is it measures the chemical composition of the surface and the atmosphere of Mars. My particular interest is nitrogen compounds. One really cool thing that we found is nitrate. It's a biologically and chemically available source of nitrogen. It's used by biology to make biomolecules such as amino acids and nucleobases. So working on sample analysis at Mars and the Curiosity rover is awesome because we're making these complex chemical measurements on the surface of another planet. These are measurements that are difficult sometimes to even make in your own laboratory, and yet we are doing it on the surface of Mars and getting data.